here, and it's time for another Hogwarts Lego update. Today I'm really excited to bring you everything that I have built, and I'm really happy to announce that, well, it's finished. At least the exterior is finished, but I have been doing a lot of building the past 10 days or so, and yeah, the exterior, at least of this side of the castle, is now done, and I can't believe how well this is shaping up, and that this whole thing took about, how long has it been? 8 months or so, I think, of building and planning and testing stuff, rebuilding and whatnot. But it's finally done. Of course, there is a lot of work to do still on this very section. But firstly, let's talk about what we have done. Now, you can now see that the roof is complete, and it is separated into 3 sections. First section from here to here, second section from here to here, and then third section, this part over here. I decided in the end that this part should not be removable. I made it so it kind of is sticking to the whole section, because I really found out that this needs to be kind of more sturdy, and these 3 platforms, when I had them placed and removable, each of them, it turns out that the roof kind of connections were not looking so great because it's so massive. Even if I have connections over here and, for example, somewhere around the bottom, it just didn't line up too well, and it was kind of weird. And then the way we had the construction set up, it was wasn't really allowing us to kind of reach in. So we have plenty of ways to reach in from here and also from this side once the side building is retracted. So I decided might as well make this more sturdier and just have it not movable. I like that these 2 sections, which are well, not identical, but they're identical in size, are removable. And since last time, I have also added these tan pieces, I don't know what they're called, basically to extend kind of the look of these little windows here. And yeah, I think they do look a lot better, although the little trivia that I made to some people, they thought that actually the other way was better, but I do believe that having this little kind of terrace look in tan is better. So yeah, to each their own. Anyway, let's talk about these towers. Now, this tower and this tower are identical, and actually I'm kind of satisfied with these ones. I initially wanted to use just this archway 1, 2, 3, but I didn't have enough of them at the time. I have ordered some just because I will need them at some point, but I found I don't have all that many. So while I was testing, I decided to use these archways, you know, our little favorite half archways that we've used over here. And I've ordered so many of them, so I thought, well, why not try it out? And now we have this little element sticking out, which is kind of not so loyal to the original, but it kind of brings a little bit more detail to the whole piece, and I think it's nice because we are limited to these corner pieces, and it really means that we can't really use a lot of nougat bricks and kind of flavor. So this kind of enriches the whole build, I think. Now this roof, I'm pretty happy with it, but I will try to think of a way to improve it. For now, it's okay. I would really prefer if we had a 3x3 piece similar to this one over here. Yeah, that is not so circular shaped, but for the time being it's gonna be like this. Now, this tower, I have a problem because although I did try to be a bit creative with it, the biggest problem here is that the whole look of the original is very strange and very difficult to replicate because this whole spire is very, very tall. It's even taller than the tower piece. But in Lego, it's very difficult to have a spire that is tall and so thin at the very top, because if you want to have this kind of triangle shape, spire shape going up, we kind of need to thin it the higher we go, and with Lego you can't really do that. I mean, obviously you decrease, and for now, I don't really like the way it is, but it's something that I'm testing out because we have there is this weird shape, like a angle, very sharp angle, and then there should be these little horizontal pieces. Now these should be in tan ideally, and then the whole spire should be at least another third taller compared to the way it is now. And I'm thinking of ways to do that, and I'm not really, can't really come up with anything decent enough. Now, the simplest idea would be to change this to dark bluish gray a little bit and kind of gain a little bit of dark bluish gray, mass over here, and then just extend a little bit upwards. It will not be perfect, but it would be bit more loyal to the original. However, then we're losing to, I don't know, kind of the idea of this needs to be in tan, and then this angle that separates them, everything behind it should be dark bluish gray, and it kind of doesn't work that way. It will always be like, for example, if you look from this angle, you see a little bit of tan, and it shouldn't be like that. But if we change dark bluish gray, then this will be dark bluish gray, and it shouldn't be. And I don't know, one thing I'm thinking about is to kind of attach another brick here in kind of a sloped way. That will hold its own difficulties. Again, the coloration, it's just this angle is very problematic to recreate. And yeah, for now I decided just to build it this way because I'm really happy with this part here, because this tower needs to be thicker than these. It needs to be a bit different, and I'm really happy that I managed to use these pieces over here, have plenty of them, and just to have the whole tower kind of symmetrical, because I've seen in many MOCs and pictures people trying to do things, these towers, they don't make them symmetrical, and that's not right. I mean, they should be symmetrical. You can't really make a clear circle, but if the width here is 3, then it should be 3 this way as well. It shouldn't be, especially this middle tower. I've seen people trying just different things and make it like wider, and here it's thinner. It's just, to me, it doesn't look right, and it's really important to make this proper. And now the roof, I'll think about it. It's something I consider in the finishing touches section, and that can always be changed, and we don't need to rush things. Now let's talk about the connections. First, I built the whole roof, one big piece, 3 big pieces obviously, but I didn't have these slots for the towers. Afterwards, once I started building the towers and I tested several builds, I settled into one, and then I started to kind of modify so it kind of goes in, and only then I finished the whole thing. Now, the first one I built was this one. I mean, I was obviously testing all 3 as I mentioned in my last video, but the first one I settled and was this one, the front one. And it was really important to have these towers easily removable, but at the same time being sturdy enough to kind of withstand, like shaking, and just not having them fall apart very easily when you kind of bump tables or just move this a little bit, slide it. It needs to be solid, but it needs to be easily removable. Everything is removable. These towers are removable. These two big sections are removable, because this whole thing is very, very heavy now, and if I want to pick it up, obviously detach this side and pick this whole thing up away from the plates, I need to be able to do that, and I don't want to pick everything up, so it's very important. Anyway, let's have a look. Now I just need to grab it and it comes off. Now I have how should I say, like this two kind of, just leave this down here, these two connections. For example, first one is here and the second one is over here. Now I have another pair of snot plates over here, they just came out with the tower, it doesn't really matter. Basically they sit over here, and that's very important, because this way, once we place the tower, it kind of pulls this side together. I mean, initially this was mobile as well, this side here, but now it's not, but still it kind of attaches here and it pulls this part here that is, you know, kind of being just a wall, because this is part of another section and this is just needs to be pushing over here. So the way it is now, if we place it back in, let's see over here how it is, but once we place it back in, what do we achieve? This side here and here is taking all the weight from the tower, and at the same time it can't go left or right because it's being kind of held by over here and over here. And the most important thing, it doesn't go forwards, it can't fall forwards, because this bottom side is hitting the wall over here, and it's not only connections here but also here, so we have 4 connections that are kind of keeping the tower together, and that's very important. Now one last thing over here, these things, I've ordered these how should they call them, 2x2 inverted, basically the sister of this one, because this one is going upwards, the other one is going downwards. And it turns out these ones in tan are very expensive. I can't really understand why, but I have ordered some just to kind of better the side here, because now it looks just not really well, but once we have them we can really achieve this little angle that it should be without it looking awkward. And after I did this, I later on did this one as well, which uses really the same kind of way, because it sits over here on 2 snot plates, and again over here same way, and it again, it can't really fall over to the left or right, and it can't really, I'm pushing it right now and it's not gonna fall over because it's being held over here and over here, and this whole side, this whole weight of the tower is pushing over here once it tries to fall, so it's not gonna fall. It's very important. Anyway, then we did this one, and the problem I had with all these towers, I don't really say it was a problem, but kind of a annoying issue, is that because we were limited to these things here, in its kind of awkward size, it was kind of falling apart in my hands. So the roof is the thing that really keeps it together. Like, until we place the roof, it's kind of, you know, not as sturdy. I mean, as we build a little bit more, the bricks kind of stack together, and you can get creative to kind of, you know, build it sturdier, but it's the roof that keeps it together, because it kind of sandwiches everything. And yeah. Now about this tower. This tower, again, I explored various ways to do it, and it turns out that these pieces over here were really, really helpful. The problem I have is that maybe these 2 windows shouldn't be so far apart, but then again, we'll have to cover everything else in a dark bluish gray, and I'm not really sure. I mean, the moment we decide how this should be, it will kind of determine if this should be changed, but I think it looks okay the way it is. like these, it gives us a little bit more opportunity to use kind of nougat bricks here and there just to make it prettier. I decided to, again, do this little detail that doesn't really look anything like the pictures, but again, these big plates kind of simplify things too much, so I wanted to add a little bit more of detail. And again, this thing is removable. It's very important for this to be sturdy so I can pick it up and shake it, doesn't fall apart. And then it's very important for this to kind of go in and not just not fall from its slot. Now what I've done is I kind of cut a little bit into this side of the roof and then into this section as well. And I have these little pieces here, so it sits, it doesn't connect. The way it connects is I don't even have anything specific over here, it sits over here and over here, and over here it doesn't really sit in anything, but it's not needed because this thing came out obviously, but it doesn't really matter. These sides here to the side, these 1x4s, they sit on these tan plates, and the only connection, the only solid connection is this 1x4 that goes over here. And just the way it is, it can't go forwards or backwards, you know, can't go like this. The only way it could fall down is like over here, but the weight is balanced so properly, so it can't really do that. Plus, once you slot it over here, it's very difficult for this to go to the sides. So I think it's good enough. Again, you don't want it to have sticking out, obviously, just to having to pull it and experience difficulty. You want it to be easily detachable. So if you can detach it with one hand and place it again with one hand easily, and it doesn't fall over when you move the whole building, slide over across the tables, I think it's job well done. Over here from the front, not much has happened. However, I have done yet another change of these front towers. They really bother me because they just don't satisfy me in the way they look. And now I'm trying another different way. Now these windows, I don't like them. There are these 2x3 that are not really, that the hole here is smaller, like it has like these little detail over here, so the place for a window is smaller. And I've ordered some of them in tan, and I think once I place them to look a lot better. Now I have extended this side over here. Let me just change a little bit. There we go. By one stud forwards, just so we can place these 2x2 roof pieces, because otherwise it was kind of looking weird. Now I have also increased this to be kind of higher than this. Now these brown lines kind of don't match, but they shouldn't really match. It's not really needed, and I didn't really want them to blend in. So this is the way it is for now. Now the peculiar way these towers are made, it's kind of difficult. I see everyone that has made a mock of this kind of either ignores them or simply makes their own version of it. So basically that's what I'm doing. But I remain being unsatisfied. But yeah, for now that's the way it is. And from afar I think it looks nice. I mean, obviously something is missing here, but all the windows that I'm going to replace these, they're again 2x3, but we have this space here is smaller, it's kind of thinner. I think it will look better, but we'll see. I might do it again because yeah, not really, doesn't really look perfect in my eyes. And this front tower, I've remade it a little bit. It looks kind of like an abomination. I tried to make it a little bit more interesting because we built it from pieces last time. Like initially we had this big piece, like this whole thing is one piece. We had that. Then I decided to replace that and build it in piece with bricks. And now we went back, and after we've gone back, we've tried to do something more interesting, but it doesn't really look right because from this side it just looks weird. And it's kind of strange the way it's constructed. I think I'm gonna redo it again, but it's just testing some stuff. And I've actually found a way to kind of get past this annoying thing of this being one stud too big over here. If it wasn't, it would have been perfect, because we could have built the backside with these pieces, but we can't. Anyway, again, another thing that I consider a finishing touch, this little tower. We will improve on it. I just want to have it, you know, finished, and to have a version where I'm kind of happy with, and just I can look at this once in a while when I get when I'm doing something else, and something will come up and will pop in my mind to improve it, I'm sure. So yeah, I think it's a good stage. Now we have to work on this, and that will be a very interesting and kind of scary challenge, because if this tower is so tall, then this grand staircase needs to be, well, I don't know. I think my calculations say like a meter, 80 centimeters, or 100 centimeters tall, and that's going to be something massive. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. One little thing I want to mention now. Let me just try to open, because over here I have the thing attached currently, so I can't really reach in and open the doors from the sides as I usually do. So I have to open them from over here, which is possible, but I just need to be a little bit careful. Now I'm not sure if I can show you. You can see a little bit, yeah. I have added the other 2 knights over here. Now we have a total of 12 knights inside, and I'm actually thinking of a way to put some particular lights inside over here so we can film it a little bit better and see. I have still not added the architect inside, and once I do that, I'm going to kind of do my best to show you everything inside. But yeah, the knights are in, and this little construction in here with the Hogwarts crest is there, and I think I can think about placing some kind of tiles and plates over here for floor very soon. Now let me shift this little around 9 degrees so I can show you the back. Here we are over here. And here is how the tower looks in the whole building from the back. Now again, I remind you that if we want to open this thing, now we have to detach this thing, this tower. So we put it down. Then we need to remove this plate or tile over here. And we need to remove this cover of rocks over here, which is again easily detachable as long as I don't drop it with my hand. And then we can easily open over here to reveal the inside of the Great Hall, which still doesn't have any students or any minifigs outside of the faculty members. It doesn't have any food, but hopefully very soon we will work on that. And this is how now see over here, we don't really, I'm trying to give you a little bit more light. We have this, you see over here how we have this darkness over here. I have space to put 10 plates over here to connect these arches from side to side to look a lot better that way. Haven't done that because first I haven't ordered those pieces yet, and then I'm thinking of ways to put these candles over here, but that involves a lot of transparent pieces that some of them I don't have, some of them are really expensive, and some of them that don't exist. Yeah, they just don't exist in that kind of well, color. But I'm thinking of ways, so that's the main reason, plus it's something small. But yeah, we will have basically the way it is here. It will be everywhere over there. But I think think it's very nice. Now this thing I've left the way it was because now obviously the connections that we have that showed you last time, now it's not here because this isn't pushing against it. You know, we had an additional connection from this one, these two. We had another two over here just to kind of connect here and here and keep the doors open and not have any space between the doors and the roof, so everything is stacked together very nicely. But since we have the tower now, we remove that connection over here and that side of the whole build, and now the tower itself serves the same purpose because, you know, this side is pushing against it and also it's pushing the doors against the roof as well, so it serves the same purpose. One thing that I'm thinking about is increasing the height of this, because this little thing is a little, you know, thing that I made up just because I think it's pretty and it serves the purpose of squishing this thing together a little bit so it doesn't kind of so it looks symmetrical, and then it takes a brick of height from this so it looks a little bit small, and I think I'm just going to add some normal bricks over here so it just rises a little bit higher, and I think it will look better that way. Again, this side here, if we push it, we can pick out the kitchens all the way, this whole tray. And yeah, I'm not going to replace these because now it's very important to be able to take this out without really interacting with the rock, which is, you know, the rocks here are nicely done and they're not flaky or they're sturdy, you know, but still I would rather not touch much of that. So this is really helpful now to be able to kind of pull the tray out, and then we can just simply push it back in, and this whole thing is you know, hidden by this cover, which you just need to put back in and it stays in its place. Over here there should be a little bit of detail, which I'm not really sure if I'm gonna make, but probably I will. I have to remove, you see these arches here, maybe these two I'll have to remove, and there we go, we just destroy this piece of grass. There we go. Anyway, that's the way the model looks right now. I have quite a few things planned. I have ordered a lot of tiles and a lot of plates, 2x2s, 1x1, so we can place the floor all around here inside of the courtyard. Then we place some benches that I have made, or at least I've tried to make. Then we'll place these kind of rock pattern over here, which I will try to be very creative with. Then we'll try to kind of build this whole section so it will be really finished actually once we place floor all around here and maybe some students and some scenes. Clock is yeah, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, one last thing, these tiles, they are not going to be like this. I have figured out a very nice way to stay loyal to the original and kind of have this little pattern that's going on here on the roof. Very expensive pieces actually, again in town. I don't know why I always pick these weird pieces that are always turn out to be very expensive, exactly in the color that I need, but oh well, sacrifice we make. So I've ordered them and I have this little pattern figured out that is going to be not flat like this. I mean, it is going to be flat, but then we're going to have some other things over here. You're going to see, I think you're going to like it. At least I think it's going to look nice. And yeah, hopefully I will show you that next time. It should be done, and I'm planning to do the same over here, although I don't think I'll have enough pieces for this side over here because there just weren't enough of those in the store. So maybe at some point in the future. I'm also working for another interesting Easter egg that I'm planning to hide somewhere. Now I know some people say that I should hide something in the roof, and believe me, I thought about that and I liked the idea, but the roof itself inside, first of all, it's a real mess. And second of all, the only way to hide something in the roof would be from the sides, because if it's from the top, then you have to remove some of this, then it will not be as sturdy because this has to be removed, for example, half of it. Then it's difficult to take out and film. And I kind of really want these pieces to be sturdy because they support a lot of things and they kind of squish the whole thing together, and I don't want to have it not really sturdy enough. And also the way it would work, I would need all the space kind of free, but now it's not really free because they have these bricks kind of connecting here, so this doesn't fall over. It's connecting to this pattern here, these slopes, and it was going to be a real problem to hide something in there. I think there is still some space, and if I really want to hide something, smaller, maybe I can do it, but for now I'm not planning on it because it just raises so many questions and difficulties that I would rather really not hide something there at this time. But yeah, similar to the way we hid Jafar's office. Now, where can I pick this up with one hand without it falling apart? This thing will definitely come off because I've made it so. So, for example, yeah, from over here. There we go. Similar to Jafar's office, which by the way now has a different window over here that I picked up. I really wish this was in kind of a red-ish kind of overtones or a little bit darker, but it's what I found. So for now it looks like this. But yeah, I have a plan to make something else from another fandom, one that is not really might not be known to many of you, but it's one of my favorite shows from the past, and I think I really can represent something nice in a scene like that. It will be similar size to Jafar's room, maybe a little bit bigger, but we'll see. I have ordered some specific pieces for it, and I'm really excited to build that. Now, where I'm gonna hide that, I have no idea. But in the grand staircase, seeing how big it will be, there will be plenty of space to hide stuff, I assume. Anyway, that's about it. I really thank you for following me and for kind of taking this journey with me and building, listening to my thoughts and to my narrating. I know sometimes it's not as exciting as it is at other times, but I'm really happy that there are some people that are sticking with me and really find everything that I build and this whole project interesting enough. So I am really happy for that. I'm really happy that now I have 100 subscribers. Hopefully this channel will continue to grow, and hopefully my kind of time and desire to keep doing this all the way till the end will remain. I think we are, what is this, like roughly a fifth of the castle, maybe a sixth. So we still have a long way to go, but it's as long as it's fun, I think I'm gonna keep going. Once again, thank you all for watching and staying with me. I will see you again in the next 10 to 14 days. Thank you for being with me, and stay healthy. Bye for now.